Welcome to Last Night in Basketball. I'm Jared Dubin, and this is Friday Film Findings. Joel Embiid is having the best passing season of his NBA career. Embiid is averaging 6.6 assists per game this year, the highest mark of his career by far, more than 50% higher than his previous high. Embiid obviously deserves the lion's share of the credit here, but I think Sixers coach Nick Nurse deserves some too. When Nurse was coaching in Toronto, Embiid hated playing against his teams. They kind of had a low-level feud going.
They kind of took the Nick Nurse spot of begging for free throws and calling out the referees.
Honestly, I'm not really surprised that Embiid hated playing against Nurse and the Raptors. No team in the NBA guarded him better than they did. Against Toronto, Embiid averaged only 22.7 points per game and shot 46.5% from the field. Against everyone else, he averaged 29.2 points per game and shot 54.9% from the field. One of the main reasons Nurse's Raptors had so much success against Embiid is because they were able to force him into a ton of turnovers. They were always swarming him with bodies and making sure he didn't have a clear path to get to the rim. Nobody doubled Joel Embiid more than the Raptors did over the last 5 years. They sent an extra defender on 33% of his post-ups. That's compared with 24% for everyone else. The main reason the Raptors always sent extra defenders Embiid's way was because it worked really, really well. His turnover rate skyrocketed, and his efficiency was dramatically lower against doubles. He averaged 1.17 points per possession against single coverage and just 0.77 against double teams. If sending two defenders Embiid's way worked out well, the Raptors sometimes figured, well, why not send three of them? That's right, they'd send triple teams his way. Nobody sent that extra defender at Embiid more often than the Raptors, and Nurse was the driving force behind that strategy. Now, Embiid gets to play for Nurse, and things are a lot different. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but Embiid's doing a much better job of handling double teams this year. He's so much more decisive when teams send an extra defender his way. He gets that ball out, and he gets it to the right man. But he's also careful not to force the issue. If he has to wait out the coverage, wait for cutters, wait for his guy to get open, he'll do it. He's just making the right play more often than not, which is different than what we're used to seeing from him. But it's also not just the double teams. He's doing a much better job of making passes within the flow of the offense. Whether he's been down in the post or even in isolation at the top of the key or on the wing, Embiid's done a better job of spotting extra defenders and firing the ball out to the perimeter. That's one of the main reasons that he's averaging a career-high 10.3 potential assists per 100 possessions on threes. His previous career high was 7.8 per 100 set just last year. He'll make that pass after drawing the defense to him, but he'll also make it if somebody steps to him and there's a lane for it right away. It's not just behind the three-point line that Embiid is doing a better job of finding his teammates. He's creating high-value shots in the paint and near the rim. He's never done it more often than he has so far this season. 8.6 potential assists per 100 possessions in the paint. Last year, that number was just 4.8, and his career high was 6.5. Nurse is trusting him to spot cutters, whether he's at the elbow or somewhere else around the top of the key, and he's doing a great job of finding the right guy at the right time to get them an easy look at the basket. Nowhere has the improvement in Embiid's passing been more obvious than in those plays where he's tried to make a dish on the move. This used to be a pretty big adventure for Embiid, and it still is sometimes, but he's also just doing a much better job of reading the defense on the move, spotting the right guy, and getting him the ball in the right place at the right time so he can take and make the shot that Embiid creates for him. And here's the thing, this was Nurse's plan right from the beginning. He talked about it in training camp.
I think he, along with our coaching staff, we think that we can get him in a lot more different situations, like that it isn't just like, here's what's going to happen and he's got to take the shot. Like it's going to kind of be, well, it looks good this way or looks good that way, or who's coming off, or what does he want to do? Does he want to pass and follow? Does he want to pass and screen away? Just reading like what he thinks looks good out there. I think he'll have the ball in initiating the offense situation maybe a little more, maybe.
And if you ask Embiid himself, he's apparently always wanted to play this way.
I think I've always wanted to play that way. I never liked just being an ISO player. I don't think that's the right way to play, and I don't think that's the right way to win.
We can debate all we want about whether or not that's true, but what's definitely true is that playing this way right now has both Embiid and the Sixers looking better than ever. This has been Last Night in Basketball. I'm Jared Dubin. Head on over to lastnightinbasketball.com and subscribe today.